Everything is prepared. They sit together without needing much exchange. Each person holds their position. Tools are set aside, no longer in use. The fire becomes the central element of the space. There is no sign of urgency to leave.
Let y'all see how I transform. And like I told you the other night, yesterday was the anniversary. Yesterday was the anniversary of me getting shot. And my hip, half of my hip is gone. Femur was broke. This part is still fusing to go to there, all the way down to my knee. So I got a scar from all the way up here and down. And most people give up in these type of times, these situations, but this is what's making me stronger. This is what makes me, continue to do what I do. It's only through our adversities we make the changes we need to make. And a lot of people are afraid to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, but you must be uncomfortable. You must be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Well, actually, they're comfortable being comfortable, but they're afraid of being uncomfortable because they're going to have to do something. It takes work. And like when I came home, the first 3 months I couldn't really move. Then I had another operation. But before that, after 3 months, I got this bike. I got some weights. My buddy sent me some weights. And I was doing my workouts on a daily basis. And I got stronger, but then I wound up breaking the screws in my knees. So they had to do the other operation. And this time, it wasn't harder for me to come back. It was easier for me to come back, and then I go to therapy and, I do this and then the other exercise they have me do when I'm at home, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because, like, it's a beautiful thing when you can take your adversities and change it into something positive, like I told you, the book, Through Adversity Come Change, is on Amazon. You can get it by Rich Coleman. And, reading that book is going to help you on the road. Like, Tacc is a movement. It's a platform. It's what you have to understand. It's just not what the book says. It's a lot more. Like I tell you, it's 5 principles, 3 articles, 1 here. And you must go through this process in order for you to be able to heal. And I was just talking to somebody earlier, and I was like, we're just talking about what's going on in the world. And I was like, it really doesn't affect us the way it affects other people, because we've been poor all our lives. We still going to work. We still going to pay our bills, so forth and so on. And it's only through the adversity of this war now that things are going to change. They had a process and a plan. But like the Prophet Muhammad SAW says, when people plan, God laughs because he's the best of planners. They thought they were just going to go over there and take over and that's just going to be it. But, God had another plan. And we have to learn that the only way that we're going to get anything done is we have to do it together. We have to come together. This is not going to be resolved by us. I was looking at a interview of the 8 point something million No King's Day, and the reporter asked this old white lady. She said, "Do you think the blacks should be out here?" She said, "No, blacks should stay home because they'll wind up getting arrested. This is what we've done. We voted them in. We got to get them out." And that was so profound because people are starting to see. But Why I'm saying this is because through adversity, change takes place. If you don't go through nothing, it's just going to be the same thing. But when you go through things, this is what shows you. This is what builds character. You know, the people who don't really have character, they fold. But the people who have character, they do the right thing. You know, like I said, you get knocked down 9 times, get up 10. You know, you just got to keep striving. And it's a blessing for me because it shows that, you know, I haven't given up. You know, I have to continue to do the right thing no matter what. And I know it's going to take time. It's going to be more difficult than, you know, doing what I used to do. But as long as I stick with it, it's going to be all right. You know, and my whole mission is about helping each person who wants help to heal, so that we can make a greater future for ourselves. You understand? You got to understand why they keep us divided. But when you understand that once we come together, there's nothing that can be done because we're a force. Everything on this planet, right, that we put our hands on, we dominate. But we never get to really reap the benefits because it's always stolen. But what about when you change your mindset and you put all the parameters that need to be put in the proper perspective, and you're able to quietly do the things that you need to do to get yourself in a good situation, you and the people who want to heal. You know, I have a 30-year plan I put together. Like I told you, when I was in prison, I reinvented myself and changed my mindset over 10 years ago. And when I did that, you know, I got an honorary master's degree from Baylor University in venture in business. And then after that, God started putting different ideas in my head. He woke me up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for 6 years with just ideas. I wrote them down. I had sticky pads, wrote them down. And it took me 6 years to put them together like that. So adversity come change. I always tell people that's not my pro, that's his. You know, I'm just a vessel to give it to the people. But like I said, you don't go through all the things I went through in my life without being able to be wise down the road. Like, you know, you would have to really be brain dead after going through all I've been through and still think the same way. Like they said, you know, when I was a kid, I thought as a kid, and as an adult, I think as an adult. You know, and as an old man, I think as an old man. You know, I may not look old, but, you know, I'm in my 60s. But, you know, my mission is to help us to make changes in our life. You know, first principle is God. You got to understand that there's a higher power greater than ourselves who makes no mistakes. And whatever he does or you feel that he does to you, it's for a reason. And the second principle is understanding that wherever you're at in life, he put you there because he's driving the car. You understand? He's driving the car and he makes no mistakes, as I said. And you must take the responsibility to understand that maybe it's something that I may have done that got me in this position. And 9 times out of 10, when you retrospect, you come up with the answer. Third principle is, to me, my own personal, embracing your journey. Why do I say that? We all have a journey. We all have a purpose. And if you think we don't have a purpose, just think about this. You're 1 out of 5 billion sperm cells that made it. Think about that. You know, and if you made it through that, that means God has a purpose for you. So when I say embrace your journey, you got to see what it is in your life that he's putting in your life and which direction it's taking you. But you have to pay attention. You know, it's not going to come overnight. You have to go through things to learn. You know, it takes years. It took me almost 60 years to get the understanding. You know, but I thank God that I did. But the whole thing is this right here. when you embrace your journey, life becomes easier for you because you no longer look at life the way you used to. You think everything was against you. Now, when you embrace your journey, you know that everything that goes on in your brain is to help you to get to where you need to be. See, God puts adversities in your life to shape and mold you to who you need to be able to get back to Him. You see what I'm saying? And whatever He does to make you stronger so you can deal with it. You'll be able to embrace it. I always say, a lot of times people would love to live their lives backwards, but you must live it forward to get the lessons and the blessings. And as well, I said, your choices shape your adversities. Your adversities are your lessons to get you to your blessings. Right? Your adversities are different from my adversities. My adversities are different from yours. But we all have adversity. And mine shape and mold me to who God wants me to be if I pay attention. And I always tell you, if I pay attention. And God has a way of shaping and molding you to who He wants you to be if you pay attention. But the whole thing is, once you embrace your journey, life gets easy because you understand that you don't know everything. And the beautiful thing about it, every day is a learning process that you embrace. Everything that you go through, is for a reason. You don't look at it as a bad thing. You look at it as a good thing because, He's not going to do anything to ever hurt you. He loves us all, equally. But if you choose the devil, that's where you're going to be. I've been there, done that. 28 years in federal prison, getting shot 9 times, going bankrupt, losing businesses, losing houses, family, everything, So I get it. So now it's time to do the right thing in life. And this is what it's all about. Like I was telling a person today, it doesn't even feel good doing the wrong thing. Right feels right. And it comes from being able to embrace your journey and learn who you are, what you like, and what you don't. Hello? Hello? All right, what is this about? Yeah. So like I said, embrace your journey, man. I know it's going to be tough in the beginning, but man, once you embrace your journey, life gets easier for you. But you look at life as a positive instead of a negative. I was able to, when I embraced my journey, I was able to forgive everyone who's wrong. But most importantly, I was able to forgive me. And see, when you accept them responsibilities, like, yeah, man, everything that I went through in my life is my fault because I let people do it or I did it. I could have said no. But, we get caught up in peer pressure and other things, and that's just part of life. My thing is just doing the right thing no matter what. Sammy Dread, hit notification with this. You can type me. But yeah. You just gotta do the right thing, man. And once you start doing the right thing in your life, wrong don't even feel right no more. And I just, like I said, I just try to live right, do right. I got my own little place and my own little world, and it's beautiful for me. I have no problem. And that's only because of the grace of God. Everything comes from Him. And once you understand that and you learn that, man, it's a beautiful thing. Life is, like I said, life is fantastic for me. I have no problems, no qualms, because I live right. Like just today, I got my money, I paid all my bills. You know what I'm saying? I paid all my bills. One shot. So now I don't have to worry about that. Now I got a couple other bills coming up later in the month, and I'm still, in position to take care of it. And this was about living right, doing the right thing, man, no matter what. You know, and I just thank God that I don't have the habits that I used to have, because I would have nothing. You know, and it's not just getting high; it's just spending money. You know, being a spendthrift. You know, and like God says, spendthrift is the cousin of the devil. You don't need all that stuff. You know, I got everything I need for real. You know, I had a whole bunch more, but what I have left is sufficient for me. You know, I'm not really going out nowhere. I'm not doing nothing. I ain't got a car to, move around. So I understand. I embrace my journey. This is my journey. Healing right now. It's about me healing. You know, everything else doesn't even matter. You know, before I can do anything else in life, I gotta heal. And I'm doing pretty good, I think. But yeah, fourth principle. It's being able to face all your shortcomings, your adversities, your fears, the things that only you and God know. And when they pop up, your whole day is destroyed. And you might say, "What's that?" You know, like everyone knows. Everyone knows about secret traumas in their lives. You know that they'll never speak on or say anything to anybody. You know, how I learned this is going through different therapies and different programs. You know, while I was away. You know, you have to educate yourself. There's so many people with mental health issues. Like I was saying yesterday, a lady ran up on me talking about she gonna cut me when I was on Eastern Parkway and I went to the doctor. I ain't say a word to the lady, but I pulled my bear spray out and I told her, "I'm gonna spray you. Come over here," you know. But mental health is a big thing. This is why we gotta start to learn to heal. Until we learn to heal, we're not gonna be able to do anything in life. Trust me. You know, you're going to be bitter. You're going to be angry. You got to be able to forgive yourself. But the only way you're going to be able to forgive yourself is you have to face all of your fears that you always had, your shortcomings, your adversity. You have to face it. And how you do that? The fourth principle, the wall of adversity, knowing that you can't go over it, under it, around it. You can't self-medicate. You can't run from it. You have to face it. And the only way you're going to do that is fifth principle. Going through, making the conscious decision, say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to face these devils and I'm going to get this out of my head, because all it is they rent space in your head. It's not like these things are reality. They're just renting space in your head. But you have to be able to be intelligent enough to get them out. So now once you go through the wall of adversity, which is the fifth principle, now you're on the road of change, which is the three articles. Past, present, future, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But you must go through your what's, when's, where's, why's, how, and sometimes who. Meaning, what happened, who did what, who did you tell, so forth and so on. And when you are able to face those things from your past, man, it's going to be tough. The first one is going to be the toughest. You're going to cry. You're going to, you're going to reflect. But once you go through all your what's been, where, why, how, and sometimes who, you're going to get a sense of relief after you go through all of those emotions. Then when you get to the second one, which is wisdom, present, and you go through your what's, when, where, why, how, and sometimes who, you're going to see like, wow, most of this stuff was in my head. Fears of whatever. Not understanding that, man, God takes care of everything he makes. Because the thing you fear never hurt you. The adversities never really hurt you. They help build you. And once you get that understanding and the wisdom of that, now you go to the third, which is understanding. And go through your what, when, where, why, how, and sometimes. You're going to see life for what it really is. And you'll never have to worry about anything, because you know that God is in charge. And whatever he wills this is going to be, there's nothing you can do about it. But you're going to be able to help others who are going through the same thing, because now you see life for what it really is. And you can tell people that, look, don't go down that road. Like I tell people, let your conscience be your guide. Your conscious is your spiritual self that sees things before you. Like, man, I should have took a left, man. Something in my mind told me to take a right, and I took the left. And you get your head cracked. You feel it. It's like any real criminal who's about to go to prison, and he knows it, he feels it. It's a feeling, you know. It's your spiritual self letting you know, warning you. Every time I went to prison, I felt it, you know. And it is what it is. It's part of life. It's part of your growth. It's part of your development. It's part of your learning. You have to go through things in order for you to get to things. You just can't get to things like that. It's not how it works. You have to be able to learn what it is that you're going through. And once you're able to learn what it is you're going through, man, it's a beautiful thing. You know, like I said, my life is simple. You know, I tell motherfucker, man, I used to spend $1,000 a day on scratch tickets. Now I live off $1,000 a month. Just think of the transition of that, psychological transition. But with me being in prison and, you know, all my money was allocated to other people in my family and whatever, you know, and I had to go days without. So it helped me to appreciate. And this is why I said, you have to embrace your journey. You know, it helped me to appreciate not having, you know, and then it lets you see that, you know, you don't really need all that stuff. You know, you really don't. You only want it because you have it. But when you have it and you don't do it, man, that's the blessing. Now, with the understanding, like I said, you're going to be able to help others, and you're going to bring people. You're going to be a light. You're going to be a light. You're going to be able to brace your journey, but you're going to be able to start to forgive others. It don't come overnight. It takes time. You're going to be able to start to forgive others. And then as time goes on, you're going to be able to forgive yourself. And that's when the peace comes. You know, it's a beautiful thing. When God finally gave me peace, like Dick Gregory said, when the universe gives you those glasses, you can't give it to somebody, you can't take them off. You see life for what it is. You see people for who they are. You know, and you know what's really going on. And like that's what peace gives you. Understanding of real life. And once you're able to embrace that, man, it's a beautiful thing. Man. Like I said, I'm at peace. Even though I went through 28 years in federal prison, being rich a couple of times, losing everything, you know, getting robbed by family and left for dead. You know, I went through my bitter stages, but after a while, God was like, man, I got you. And I was able to forgive after I went through this process. You know, but most importantly, I was able to forgive me. And then once I start to like really embrace this program that God gave me, man, it's like, man, He in charge. Nothing I can do, man. And life has been so much easier, even after getting shot 9 times. And I didn't give up. I wrote a book, Rare versus Come Change, on Amazon right now. This is what it's about. You know, now I got a podcast. Man, you know, I'm moving and grooving right in the crib. You know, so it's no way that a person can't say, and I know it's going to take time, but I'm streaming on all platforms. So it's a beautiful thing. In time, everything will work its way out. You know, in time, everything will work its way out. And I'm still come on tonight at 7:35, 7:40, you know, to do my regular program. You know, because it's people who rely on me. And I don't want to let them down. I don't want to disappoint them. You know? It's a blessing, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Man. Just living right. Now, once you get past understanding, now you have heal with 3 A's, helping everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. This is what it's all about. You know, being able to help others who want to be helped. You know, and when I say everyone, I'm not excluding any ethnic group. Whoever wants to be helped and help to what? Understand what love is. The only way you can understand love is you have to learn what it is. You know? And the only way you're going to do that is you have to achieve it. And you have to have gone through it. But once you've gone through it, You learn to appreciate it. And once you appreciate love, you do everything in your power not to ever lose it. Because love is God and God is love. Love is the strongest force in the universe. It can make you the happiest or it can make you the sad. It's up to you. You know? And my thing is, with the way the world is going right now, we need to come together as a people, as a human race, not as no ethnic this or this. Look, as a human race, we know the things are not right. And the only way we can do that is we have to come together and do the right thing, no matter what. We have to sacrifice. We have to be able to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable so we can be comfortable with being comfortable. It takes time. It takes time. But like I said, I want us all to win. I don't care if you don't like me, you like me, I don't care. I want us all to win. Never been a hater in my life, never been jealous, envious, none of that. Because I've always got my muscle. I understand. I've never been like that, and I've always helped everybody. But the ones who does all the helping never gets it back. But you get it from God, and that's the most important place. Like I said, I can't be mad at no one. Period. Couldn't be, because everything that was done to me was done for me to grow. If I didn't go through those things like heartbreak, if you don't never get heartbroken, you never know what heartbreak is. So you're not able to deal with it if it happens to you later on down the road. But when you're going through all kinds of schisms and isms and hurt, man, all that does is help you to grow. It's never against you. It's always for you. Everything God that's happening to you is for you. Everything He does to you is for you. You just have to be able to understand. And that's part of embracing the journey. And when you get to that point, man, it's a beautiful thing. That's it. I just want us to win. But we must heal. We must learn the lie from the truth. So this way we'll know what direction to go. There's so much we got to learn. So much been hidden from us. So many different parameters or barriers that have been put in front of us. But through adversity comes change. We just have to keep going. And if we keep going, ain't nothing we can't do. Look at everything in this country that was created, and stolen. Us, everything we do, everybody else profits from. We don't profit from nobody. It's time for us to profit from ourselves. But it's gonna take a hard road. But I'm here, one person at a time. It's gonna take time. And I'm up for it. I ain't got nothing else to do. I ain't got no woman. I ain't got no children. I ain't got no family. I'm here. Solo though. So, that's it. We gonna be all right if people pay attention. Pay attention, you listen, you learn. There'll be more people who have this, this peace, this understanding of life. One person at a time. Like I said, all you gotta do is come on in. I ain't gonna bite. DM me. Subscribe, like. Tell me what you think. Let's make it a dialogue. I'm gonna dialogue with people. But like I said, in time, I'm not gonna get discouraged. But I'm finna get off here. I got almost 11 miles, 40, almost 45 minutes. Let's go. This turn. Yes. 45 minutes. 20. Yeah, 20 with you guys. 15 by myself before I got on with you guys. That's 10 and a half miles. That's good. Now, I gotta do my therapy exercise. It's just a little harder for me to do this leg because it's hard for me to stand on this one. For everything in time. You know? Got the rubber band.
National Business Furniture is a better way to buy office furniture. Every business deserves furniture that lasts. The partner who gets it has a budget that works. If you're ready to get started on your office project, visit nbf.com.
Okay, plumber's fixing that burst pipe. Should be all set.
Good thing you're protected 24/7 with your home and auto bundle from Progressive.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to figure out the right caption to post about this.
Maybe something like,
Tough,
I have
tough.
protection, just need a lifeguard.
What about that emoji with the shocked face?
Oh,
Maybe
just let me tell y'all something.
That's-
Never do this.
Try to- Tuesdays.
Never do this.
Technically, you're not supposed to everything that's online.
Never do that. I ain't gonna tell you why. Just never do it.
Things were already so difficult for my mom when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Then she developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. She started verbally lashing out, breaking things, wandering at night. These symptoms were a different kind of difficult. So we asked her doctor for more help.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce symptoms of agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Elderly people with dementia-related psychosis have increased risk of death or stroke. Report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar can lead to coma or death, weight gain, increased cholesterol, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur.
I'm glad I asked for help.
Ask your loved one's doctor today about Rexulti. Moments matter.
Uber Eats delivering more gifts, so you can watch more basketball. Right now, you can get game day deals on everything you crave to get food to watch basketball, and then more food to watch more basketball. Click game day deals in the Uber Eats app and order now.
Well, watch that. Showing you my world of recovery through adverse change takes place. You know what I'm saying? Only through adverse change takes place. You have to do 30 with each leg, each exercise. You have squats, short squats. Woo, 15, 15 more. Woo, 5 more. It's a tough journey, but you know, somebody got to do it. Whew. Now heel raises. Move that. That was my exercise regimen for the day. I'll be back tonight